This is a quick demo showing how to use Python and our APIs to deploy an NC2 cluster. So I've created a code repository on GitHub, so please feel free to go in there and download the code from here. You can see the NC2 cluster deployer code is listed up here, and I just go and copy out the link for it through here, and we do a git clone to download the files. And once that's downloaded, we can just enter the folder and have a look at some of the files that we've got now. You can see we have a sample.env file, and this contains the settings for our deployment. So we can go and update that in our editor. I'm going to use Cursor, but you can use whatever editor is convenient for you. So for the .env file, we're going to copy paste that and give it another name. The name we want to give it is .env, and that will automatically be picked up by Python when we execute the script later on. Now we have deployed an AWS VPC earlier, and we're going to go and copy and paste out the details from that so we can get the VPC ID as well as the IDs for the subnets in that VPC. Just copy and paste that into the .env file. We'll do it for the .metal or the cluster subnet as well, and Prism Central as well as Flow Virtual Networking. So we've elected to deploy Flow with this, which will also deploy Prism Central at the same time. We can give it any name that you would like to use for your cluster, and this will show up later on in the NC2 management console. We of course have to align the region and the availability zone with what the VPC has. Now we go to the NC2 management console and we go into our organization, and in here we are going to go to settings and copy out our organization ID. So that is required by the API when we do the API call to create the cluster. So we paste in the org ID in here. Next thing we're going to do is the web token. We can get that also from the NC2 console, the management console, through our profile and the advanced tab. You can copy out the JWT through there. And keep in mind that the web token is quite short-lived, so you may want to execute the script fairly shortly after. We also add in our EC2 key pair in there. So that's that. Now we have that done. Now we're going to create a virtual environment with Python to make sure that we can separate out the modules that we want to install to run this script and have them separate from our OS modules. We just use Python 3-m for module and then vmv or venv for virtual environment. And then you can add any name you want. I just use my-environment. Then we activate that by a dot and then our environment name bin activate. You can do source instead of dot if you want as well. If you look at the requirement files that we have in here, we can execute this or install these things with pip install -r for requirement file, and then we'll just get those modules installed. Next thing is just to execute the script. It will list up the providers that we have, the cloud accounts that we have, and just pick the one that you want to use. And it will give you a chance to review the JSON that is going to be sent off as the payload. And if you're okay with this, you just click yes or say yes, and it will execute this. And you can see here now that it's been successfully submitted, and we have a cluster ID. If you go back to the console, we can see that that is deploying right now.